Everyone, it's Katherine Skaggs and the Mythical Goddess Tarot. We're going to do a reading on the full moon in Aquarius here on July 23rd. How have you been doing? I haven't been online a whole lot lately. I've been outside my garden. I've been doing a lot of interpersonal work. And I'm feeling the growth of summer, the full summer sun, and I am enjoying it. I hope that you're bringing in the light to help you expand and grow in the journey that you're on. Let's see what these full moon energies have to do for this July and to see what we need to illuminate in our subconscious. What do we need to let go of, and what do we need to bring in to harvest all the good stuff? You know, this new moon or this full moon can help us to truly see what needs to go by the wayside and to come up with some new ways of being. So be outrageously imaginative in how you'd like to move forward. What do you want to focus on? Because that focus is going to carry you and the energies that are here for you to make breakthroughs and to come into new ways of being, leaving the old ways of being that are outmoded behind. All right, so I've shuffled the cards. We've got plenty of energy in them. I'm going to do a 15 card spread as we take a look at these energies for this July full moon and what we need to know to live life well. You know, I think the main focus is how do we continue to move forward? We've had a lot of challenges that seem to just go on and on and on in these last year or two or three. And every cycle of the moon is an opportunity, whether it be a new moon or a full moon, for us to truly harness some additional energy from the cosmos at these particular cycles. You know, the full moon is traditionally a great time to compost and to harvest. So we're going to see what we need to harvest, and then as we harvest, we can identify what's done, what's given us all it can give us. And so unless there's some other specific needs here, we're going to see what the cards have to say. So the first three cards out of 15 have to do with who are we as we enter this moon phase. You know, what do we have to admit, to look at, to honor in ourselves, or maybe to root out something. So it's interesting is I just lost a card. We'll pick up in a second. Right in the center is the success card. Kind of a lot of light on there. You know, that card is an earth card. It's at the very, very center of this reading. So it tells me that one of the things we need to do is honor, we're very successful. I don't care how crazy, messy, weird life is. You have a lot of gifts that you need to honor. You have a lot of value that you need. This is not just about money. This is about something tangible that you've brought into your physical life within your very being that is manifest. It is tangible. It could be that you own your house, or that you've got a job, or that you've got good people in your life, or that you've got certain skill sets. It could also be that you're an amazing being that has value just because you are. That's essential for us to be able to create anything in our lives. So it's a good time to do gratitude, to take a look around what you've been blessed with, and to know that that's foundational for whatever you're creating now, for whatever you're calling in, for whatever you're harvesting. You have incredible value, and so does everything in your life, and it's important that you own that. One of the other cards that sits right here in the foundation is Mary Magdalene. She's initiation, and she's a higher arcana or divine aspect and symbol of something within you that's coming to a new level of mastery. She is all about bringing you from one stage of life into another stage of life that is sacred. She initiates you into the higher essence of who you are in form in this reality. You know, I see her as this beautiful priestess who brings in the Christ light. She literally initiated Jesus by washing his feet because she already had been initiated herself. So where are you needing to honor yourself as having some mastery, being initiated into a new way of being, to really honor? It's like graduation from one stage of life and coming into a new and expanded version of yourself. So she tells me that's part of our foundation as we move into this moon cycle, is that this is giving birth to a new way of life that is a higher energy than where you've been before. And as humanity, we can take that individually and collectively because we're cleaning out our closets so that we can evolve. And that's an initiation in and of itself. All right. The other piece that we have to admit and see within ourselves is this card, the fire card, that is the Two of Fire. And she's all about being centered in the light, centered in this now moment, centered in possibility and potentiation, where you bring in the essence of fire and spirit that expands your reality, and that you really can create about anything you dream up once you put the focus and attention on it. So here we have value, we have an initiation into a higher way of being, and we have the fire card that is all about focus and being present to the light within yourself and within the world around you, encouraging you to be centered in the light, encouraging you in this particular place within the reading is that you have this capacity to stay centered in the light no matter the chaos going on around you. So it's really important to honor that as you come into this new phase of the moon, as you collect and gather up all the good stuff and let go of that which doesn't really serve you anymore, is to be present within your own light, within your own divinity, and that you're the light that gives life to every part of your world. That's a really important teaching, that we're the light. We're the ones who are luminaries. And as we can focus on that more and more, it changes our reality. We quit looking for all the problems. Instead, we're creating new ways of being. And that's really important. Okay, the next three cards have to do with what's the big picture of the next cycle. This is a 28-day cycle of this full moon until the next full moon. And so what is it that we're harvesting and letting go? And what is it that we need to know about this cycle for ourselves? In the big picture, this card, the Eight of Fire, is all about expressing ourselves from our true essence, from our creativity, from what we're passionate about, and that this phase should be one that is capable of setting us on fire. That we want to set our world on fire, not the wildfires in nature on the earth, but our internal fire. The fire that is all about passion. Where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? What are you passionate about? Give yourself to that passion over the next 30 days and see what takes root or what catches fire in your life. This is about dancing and expressing and enjoying yourself. She's in a rather blissful state, and this is all about expression and bringing that into your reality. So, look for all the ways that passion expands your world. And that's what you're going to need to navigate the next 30 or 28 to 30 days. All right. Mentally, we need to really pay attention to where we get afraid. Oftentimes when we're making change, we're letting go of things that we've been used to, even if they're not great. So we get afraid that we're not going to have something. We get afraid that we're okay. We get afraid that the world isn't okay. And with everything going on in this reality, in this earth right now, and the fear around the viruses, the fear around the second variant, or however many variants there are, the fear around money, the fear around, you name it, we can come up with fear, personally and collectively. So this card's really important. If you notice, the heart is buried and the mental is taking over everything. So over the next cycle, it's going to be really important to breathe, to be present in the moment, to pay attention and be mindful to your thoughts and your feelings. Are you stirring the pot of fear? If you are, find ways to clean and clear your mind so that you can be in your heart. Your heart will generate everything you need to create a beautiful and harmonious reality. If you're stuck in the negative aspect of the mind, it's going to be horrible. It's not going to be fun at all. So collectively, we're needing to ante up and come up to the next level of clear focus on nothing but light and love. And that means mental and emotional discipline, physical and spiritual discipline. where we recognize when we're out of bounds and we're worrying, and we find ways to come back to our heart. Literally, putting your hand on your heart is an excellent way to remind you to breathe right here into this moment, not in your future, not in your past. Because we need to collapse the stories of fear to come into a greater harmonious way. We need to take root, get solid footing of new ways of being that are born of new ideas, that it's not the old reality guiding us. So if you get afraid, notice that it's all about coming to your heart and getting back to your passion. Which the next card in this is perfect. It's the boundaries card. It's an earth card. It's Capricorn. And it's being very clear. So mentally being clear. It's like when those negative thoughts come in, weed your garden. Weed them out. Pull them out. Tell them they don't have any place for you anymore. Only focus on what you're creating through love. Focus through what you're creating through positivity. And that you're cleaning out all the old patterns that are born of survival, born of fear, that you're moving to a new reality, that you need to tell your mind that, you need to tell your heart that, you need to tell your body that, and your spirit, allowing you to come to greater harmony. These boundary cards mean that you need to be able to speak your truth. You need to be surrounded by people who also have similar ways of focusing on greater creativity and positivity to make a difference, to be different than that which doesn't work. And so that's kind of a heads up for what you're going to need to be working with as we come through the next cycle. The next three cards have to do with what your lessons are, what our lessons are, or our challenges. Because any challenge, anything that seems difficult, actually has a tremendous amount of opportunity to become wiser, to understand better how to create through a positive, wondrous way of being that creates harmony, that creates abundance, it creates happiness. So this part is to be really paid attention to. Right in the center is an earth card. It's the works card. I got a lot of flashing light on here today, and can't see this. It's the three of works. Three of earth, I mean. And this gal is dancing. She's got rainbow colored clothing on, rainbow chakra clothing, bringing heaven to earth. And this means to pay attention, whatever you desire, do the physical activity. Bring your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, and your physical self together, but in a joyous, creative manner. This is not about, oh, I got to go to work. This is more like, oh, I love what I'm doing to create my world. There is no effort. It's a dance. It is joyful. It's creative. And that's a real different thing than going to work and going real linear and not having any fun. This is all about fun, but a lot of activity to bring everything you love into your physical reality. So that may be challenging at times. You might be tired. You might need to rest. But pay attention that you need to act on your desires and do so in a joyful manner. And that's how you're creating a new reality for yourself. One of the other cards that's here, again, fits right with that fear card and with some of the messages already. This is clarity. This is the Maiden of Wind. She's all about focus, having clear focus. Aim to what you desire. What is the target of your life? Joy, happiness, abundance, prosperity, a new house, fix your garden up, a new car, change the way that you work in your relationships. Keep a clear focus. This goes along with universal law and truth. Whatever you focus on expands. So focus very clearly on what you desire. If you're constantly looking for what's wrong in a situation, you will continue to stir the pot of what is wrong. Focus on solutions. Focus on bridging what hasn't worked to a new way of being, to a joyful way of being. It's really, really important that you mentally be mindful toward your focus so that those actions can reflect that higher way of being. It's really important. We fall into old ways of being where we find ourselves, we're kind of crabby, we're judgmental or critical. Mentally we get way off and we're just grumpy. And so this is the opportunity to focus clearly on I want to be happy. I want abundance and prosperity. I want to have great relationships, etc., etc., etc. As you focus on that, you will gain the opportunity to work that out and express it. All right, which goes a lot right along with this love card. That's a two of water, two of seas, which is all about the emotional suit. It's about creativity. It's about unity and playfulness and joy. It's about how you show up with others, whether it be a personal relationship or that's an intimate one, or others anywhere in your life where you can show up and be fluid in your expression through joyful and loving ways. This being in the lessons and challenges tells me that not only do we need to focus mentally, but we need to lighten up emotionally. We need to play. We need to focus and create opportunities to play. It's like tonight I found out that there's one of my favorite musicians is playing music tonight, and I didn't have this in my schedule. I can do it. I'm going to go show up and enjoy and play and see who I'm going to meet tonight, because I've invited a friend. I don't know if she can go, but I'm like, you know what? Let's go refocus how we can get yummy in our heart spaces. So being a lesson, let's move beyond challenges. What if it's like what if we just make more dates with ourselves to be fluid emotionally, to be playful, and let the waters of life flow through us where it creates a more loving way of being. There's probably 1,000 ways. I'm going to look for the card that fell. Where did it go? Well, I'm going to pick another card. That's kind of weird. It just disappeared when it's. Oh, I see it. Watch out, gang. Going for it. Going for it. Disrupted the dogs. Okay. How's that for a reading? Going under the table. All right. So, what do we need to do to activate or take action on all that's been given so far? All right. The Crone of Wind. This is the wise aspect of your mind. This is the elder. The one, she is the eagle woman. She's got an egg in her hand. She's Aquarian. So she brings higher vision, new ways of being. She brings inspiration and invention to the world. So this is about how do you do that? How do you go from mental fear to downloading a crazy inspiration that brings this Aquarian vision of a new world? So meditation, shamanic journey work, reflection, inner spaces, taking a hike to the top of the mountain to get a different perspective, doing that physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. How do you get to that higher place within yourself that is without judgment and the criticism of the small human duality? How do you go to the spiritual higher perspective? Because that's the place that this all comes together, that you weave a new life, that you bring that fertility, that potentiation to your life through this wise perspective that gets out of the minutia. So that's going to be really important. Take time to meditate. Take time to do shamanic journey or inner reflective work that releases you from the linear, small-minded way of being so that you can be expansive and get into possibility and potential that the divine offers way beyond our mind, way beyond our mental, small brain. So that's going to be our homework, is go to higher places within yourself and within possibility through your mental and spiritual self. All right, another card. It's going to be very important in how we navigate and move to higher states of being. This is an earth card, the 9 of earth, the community card. It's about gathering in communities, sacred community, gathering in circles. Circles are important. Instead of hierarchy or the boss, the middle advisor, the lower workers, we're stepping out of that. A more feminine way is rounded, is circular, is equality. It is where you're on the same page with your comrades and your peers, your friends, and you gather around the light, the fire. You have a focus that is heart-centered and spiritually centered. So notice where you want to gather with others, like-minded, like-hearted, similar ways that they're moving to higher ground, light, and let that support you. It's really important, especially in these summer months, to celebrate, to come together and enjoy yourselves. And let that be part of what lifts you up in this next cycle to truly feel like you belong in this world, to know that you belong in this world, to find your tribe. Muy importante, as we say. Okay. The next card is the Mother of Seas. Again, a water card, the emotions, Piscean. So it's big water. It's also perception. So, have you ever noticed when you get really emotional, if you're one of those people? I am empathic, sensitive, can be very emotional. Got a lot of water in my chart. Where your perception may not be as highly intuitive as you like if you're stuck from an old emotional pattern. So you get murky and not clear. Or if you are clear emotionally because you've done spiritual and emotional work, your intuition can be spot on, where you see through the murkiness and you absolutely know the energy. So this tells me, sitting in the action, it's important to, again, go to meditation, go to places where you do breath work, you do even just breathe in and breathe out, where you honor the emotional piece coming. We're in a sea of energy right now. There's a lot of emotions that are very peaked with the survival issues people are experiencing around the planet. So many different ways that's happening. So, one of the things to do is to sit and observe your emotions. Watch them come in, watch them flow out like the ocean's tide. Just becoming objective where you can see, sense, and feel that energy ebbing and flowing so that your perception can get clearer and clearer as you wash away any criticism, any duality, any mental and emotional energies that are born of separation. So that you can ask that energy, that water energy, to come in and allow your perception to be from that higher vibration of divine love that brings compassion and allows you to observe and to feel and sense with a greater sense of knowing. And then your intuition will guide you. So I hope that makes sense. It's big energy right now. And all you empathic folk are feeling it. And it's not always personal. And it's not always bad, even if it feels a bit spiky. It's our judgment that makes it difficult. So learning to breathe with the ebb and flow of the ocean's waves, of the waves of humanity, can give you a greater sense of compassion for the challenges humanity is going through, and that it will bring that love energy up in you, the divine love that's transcendent, and it's also highly powerful to transmute low frequencies of fear. And then your perception will raise to one of a divine perception. So it's really important because we are in a waking up process, and that's part of the journey right there, is to not be caught in the undertow of the human's journey that separates you from the divine. Everything is divine, no matter how crazy it looks right now. Okay, so what's the outcome? Right in the center of our outcome is Athena. She's our chariot card. She is the goddess of wisdom and war, and she's so wise she knows not to go to war. So, and as a chariot card, she tells me we have everything we need to get to the goals of all of our desires, that we have the power, we have the strength, and we have the wisdom. And with her being in the outcome, right in the middle of the outcome, she tells me that over the next 28-day cycle, by the time we move to the next full moon, we are fully on track with manifesting bigger goals, bigger dreams than where we are right now. That we're gaining steam, that we're gaining the power and the support and the wisdom to get to where we feel like we're going. You're exactly where you need to be. I want to say that first of all. But this is symbolic of power and wisdom, and knowing not to be distracted by the human minutia. To give it whatever attention it needs and let it go and focus on your bigger goals and dreams and be present to all that you have right now. and that it gives you strength for the next big piece of your life, of whatever this movement is. So there's great movement, power, and potential and wisdom that is coming to us over this next 28-day cycle that allows us to burst into a new reality at that time. So hang in there with that. Keep your eyes on your goals, nourish them, and feel the power that's building in your life. The other piece is tells me that as we do our work here, we clean the mental fear out, we have good boundaries, we truly keep our eye on the goal, we get a higher perspective, we we really pay attention to how we work with the water energy within us and all around us, and we move to a greater state of purity within our own beings, within our heart spaces, within our emotional being. That makes it much more yummy to navigate. It creates our reality with pure essence and energy, which creates beauty. And it's easier to live when we're in our pure state of essence. So, hang in there this month. Do some of these things that are being recommended here, and know that your heart is being purified and opened for complete flow, beauty, and a higher state of experience emotionally and spiritually. I like that. All right, delight. I love this card. I was actually working with someone recently, and the focus is delight. To bring ecstasy in our life, we need to delight in our creative abilities and in everything that we're experiencing. This is a fire card. It's the three of fire, and I see a bunch of threes in here. And it's a play on words, delight. And this is really about a state of passion, fire, fieriness within your very being that brings you back to a state of joy and lightness in your experience. And I'll take that all day long. It's been a heavy, hard journey to the top of the mountain. I don't even know if we're at quarter way, halfway, I have no clue. But there's been plenty of challenges, and we want to come back to the light, delight, that allows us to be illuminated in our joy. And this is an outcome. So it tells me purity of heart, lightness, filled with light and joy. And that carries us forward into greater realities, greater dreams that we've been creating for ourselves. So I hope these cards give you some inspiration for the next 28 days, and that you are hanging in there this summer, not only hanging in there, that you're thriving. That my prayer for you is thriving, and that we bring in the light wherever we go, that we remember that we are the light. And so my name's Katherine Skaggs. I am the artist of the iconic award-winning Mythical Goddess Tarot, which these cards are from, and I am the author of the Artist Shaman Healer Sage book, which is another mystical, metaphysical, spiritual, and shamanic guide to living life with greater joy and sense of purpose spiritually, and just being able to be happy. All right, you have a great day. Love you all. Bye.